90.3 FM on YouTube. We're streaming live. And of course, our social media handle is at VOP 90.3 FM. You can also follow me as well on Twitter at Estic Media on YouTube. Also in social media, Facebook, Esther Nwachukwu on Facebook, Esther Waz on Instagram, Estic Media on YouTube. All right, we'll take a short break. The program will commence very soon. Welcome back. This is a political spotlight right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's time for me to introduce my guest in the studio. I'm expecting another guest, but in the meantime, I'm just here with Barrister Joe Nwokedi. Barrister Joe Nwokedi is a political and social affairs analyst, also a political enthusiast, and as the name implies, he is also a legal practitioner. Barrister Joe, good evening and welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening.
Good evening,
our viewers. Good evening, our listeners. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
Promises to be a wonderful.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. Loaded.
So let me start off with this because I wanted us to talk about a lot of things so that we can actually get reaction from people who will be joining us on YouTube as well, and of course who will try to call and be part of the conversation this evening. Barrister Joe, so in Kano State, the ruling there was the fact that the governor, that is Kabir Yusuf of the New Nigeria People's Party, they considered 165,000 votes invalid because the electoral papers were not signed and sealed or stamped by INEC. Now this happened and it went to the collation center. Results were called. He was declared the winner. The tribunal gave its judgment and they said they considered those votes invalid, and thereafter that reduced the number of votes, and so of course the next person, which is APC member, was declared as the governor. A ruling was held on Friday upholding the ruling of the tribunal, and in that ruling apparently the electorates were blamed for that particular ballot papers not being signed by INEC. There is something that also caught my attention. INEC was not blamed at all in all of this. It is the responsibility of INEC at every polling unit, once any ballot paper is filled or the elections have been concluded in that polling unit, for the INEC official on duty or assigned to that particular polling unit to sign. Party agents will sign. That is the decorum. That is the modus operandi. Now, I don't know what happened to the New Nigeria People's Party agents who did not see that INEC officials did not sign. I want you to recall 165,000. It happened across several polling units. INEC officials that were supposed to sign to validate that ballot paper did not sign. Nobody saw that there was an error up until it got collated, counted, was taken over to the Central Collation Center until Kabir Yusuf was declared as the winner. Now, after that, the court now ruled that all of those votes are considered invalid. You didn't reprimand INEC. You didn't question why INEC did not sign off on its paper, because that is what is on the Electoral Act. And rather, you blamed the electorates for not seeing that the ballot papers were not signed by INEC or sealed by INEC. Do you think this was deliberate from the onset to invalidate these votes? Because you literally have disenfranchised 165,000 people who came out to cast their votes. What is going on?
There's a big problem in Nigerian democracy. A very, very big problem. Terrible. Because this democracy we are practicing was not our invention. It was not our creation. It's something we borrowed from the United States of America. And I've watched the American election since 2008 when Obama was elected to president. I can remember vividly. That was when I became so much interested. I've watched, attentively. And I've followed up American since. I've not seen a situation where America nullified the election through the courts. Nullified the election of any of the electors, based on the courts. And also, many of the contestants. And also, I've not seen a situation where the will and wishes of the people were thwarted to favor someone that didn't enjoy the popular choice. Because when somebody is voted into power, it is the votes of the electors that will empower you as their choice to represent them. You are not going there on your own. You are going there to represent the interest of people that actually voted, which might not be in the majority for you to be declared the winner. Now, this issue that happened now, remember what happened in the, so many other places where INEC ought to play a role. INEC failed to play that role. And you don't blame, like they say in law, the mistake of the counsel on the litigant. The mistake of the counsel cannot be blamed on the litigant. Now, you are trying to deprive somebody of election that he won. We knew what transpired in Kano. We knew how Kwankwaso was loved. We knew how people of Kano trooped out en masse to cast their votes for this particular candidate that won the election. And you want to thwart their choice. You want to thwart the person they had in mind. They came out to project as the one that will represent them and be in charge of their collective affairs and well-being for the next 4 years. You want to use whatever legality or whatever to thwart it. The American way we borrow this democracy is the wishes of the people, the will of people that always triumph over every other thing. I'm not the courts. I'm a lawyer. I appreciate the courts. I live by the courts. I'm a court-going lawyer, not just a lawyer. I go to court like 3-4 times every week. Not once in a while. I remember court. No, I have several cases in court in my office. But it is very, very wrong for courts to now assume the position of the electors and begin to thwart the wishes of the people. Now, if actually that election was had that issue, or the ballot papers were not validly stamped and sealed as claimed, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the people that came out to vote, to cast their votes on a popular person they had the mind to rule them, we eventually won with great margin? Because if you remove that vote from the vote of the other candidate, you have like 20,000 margin or 15,000 margin. The second person, which means the first person won with 150,000. The court law is not morality. Law is not. What are you doing? It is wrong. Court is patterned in a way. I've told somebody when the legality was carved out of morality. But the only thing that's different from legality and morality is that you must prove. Law cannot dwell on hearsay or imagination or whatever. So that morality must be proved. When you kill somebody, you committed a moral wrong, you committed a legal wrong. When you steal somebody's property, you committed a moral wrong, committed a legal wrong. The only difference is that you have to prove the legal aspect. So now, instead of you to reprimand INEC, and at the worst case scenario, instead of you to reprimand INEC, and at the worst case scenario, you will say that the election will be reconducted, and not awarding victory to the person that did not win. The worst case scenario, let them go back, let those that voted this, let them repeat that election, and let the wishes of people triumph. And not you as a court begin to impose people, candidates on the people. As you are delivering judgment. They are killing this democracy in this part of the country. Court is patterned in a way that the wishes of people must prevail. Democracy is owned by the people and not the courts. Courts are merely to interpret whatever that transpired in election in line with the wishes of the people. You don't need to give any judgment that will thwart the wishes of the people. However it is, whatever is presented before you as a court, the worst case scenario, take that thing back to the people. Let them look into it and conduct that election again. Every decision of an election that maybe somebody will be disqualified on technicality, we end up there be a fresh election. The wishes of the people must at all times prevail. Court cannot award the votes of another person to another person. or when you are not sure of what transpired during the election, let there be a fresh election. So that in the end, the wishes of the people will triumph. And again, when they went on appeal, what the appeal ruled in that matter is now issue of qualification, eligibility to contest that election. They didn't dwell so much on those votes that the lower court actually nullified in order to award victory to the other candidates. They now relied on nomination.
Now, is that not a pre-election issue?
It is a pre-election.
Would you compare it to what transpired with Shetima, where they said it was a pre-election issue and it was not the court?
That's in that case. They say it's now pre and post.
But the question is, I recall during Shetima's era,
yes, they said
it's a pre-election issue, and so it is not in the court. It is not the court's business to handle pre-election matters.
And court, it's not even the court business to determine whether a political party nominated somebody or not. It is entirely the affairs of that political party. Amechi and Omehia was like, it was PDP versus PDP. They didn't award that victory to another party. They didn't nullify Amechi and award the victory to the person that won in the other party. They still brought in the person that came second. Even the Habelo versus the former Audu. When Audu died, they still found a way to get the party to inherit that person that came second from the same party was nominated to contest that election. That's my point. They didn't say because that person, though it was dead. The point is that once it is a party affair, you always allow the party to determine it. It was an MPP that won that election in Kano State. So whatever that happens during the form of nomination or whatever, it will still go back to the NPP. You cannot say, okay, the person that came second there, after the person that actually was declared, should inherit that result. Or at worst case scenario, let there be a fresh election.
Is it that the Supreme Court does not?
Or then the party should go and conduct a new primary and bring in a candidate that will do a fresh election to be conducted. The ruling must be in line with what will reflect the wishes of the people. The courts, where I belong to my constituency, they are daily destroying democracy in Nigeria. And we must speak out.
The same thing happened on Friday in Lagos State too.
Must speak out.
One of the Labour Party candidates, apparently the court ruled out, and so it was an APC candidate that was installed. And ever since then, Nigerians are beginning to ask questions. When did our judiciary become a one-party system of government?
That is the issue.
Because that's how it's seeming. And the explanations they're giving is seeming contrary.
In Zafara,
exactly.
Most of the places that the opposition party won, APC is trying to use the court to bring in their candidates to take over those states. And the court is complying with it. I don't like what is going on. Because if anything happens and they will see them, all of them delivering lectures saying anti-democratic, this military regime is bad, it's terrible. We have, this man said something, Chris Okibo, may he so rest in peace. When there was a coup, the first coup in Nigeria, he said the enemy, elephants of the jungle.
Yes.
Hooray for thunder. Why they are sharing the pumpkin? They didn't remember another thunder. Why sharing the pumpkin? That already the crowd is gathering. There may be a second thunder. But we are sharing the meat. Let them still remember what? The thunder. This same thing was what happened in the Mobile versus Adjacent, Mobile versus Sono, and the rest of them when NPN wanted at all costs to impose themselves on Nigerians and win in almost all the regions. What happened? Elephants. There was the jungle. There was the thunder. And suddenly we saw emergency advocates everywhere. Those that joined in thwarting that democracy became activists and began to fight the military. People are somewhere watching and looking at what is going on. Allow the wishes of people to triumph. They may say nothing will happen. I always tell people nothing will happen until it happens. Until it happens. And that's why my friends that say that Joe, don't bother, nobody will kill me. 3 of them are dead now. And they are gone. I say be careful, be clear, nothing will happen, but they are dead. So don't say nothing will happen. You don't know what will happen. Courts should be very, very mindful of what they do. The worst case scenario is that let everybody go back to the ballot, go back to the field, and contest fresh election, and let the winner emerge through the wishes of the people.
Barrister Jerry, just hold that thoughts. In the same line of what transpired, that very same Friday, when the court gave its ruling in Kano State, the Court of Appeal also overturned the victory of Olukayode Doherty from the Labour Party in the Lagos State House of Assembly election for the Amuwo Odofin 2 constituency. The court declared Rauf Age Suleiman of the All Progressives Congress as the rightful winner. This ruling invalidates Doherty's previously declared position as a member-elect, and they replaced him with Age Suleiman from the APC. The same thing happened in Kano. We're also seeing the same thing that transpired in Plateau State. And the question now that a lot of Nigerians are asking, what is the problem? I want to play a particular, would I say a clip or audio of an ex-Malawian president who actually mocked the Nigerian Supreme Court. In fact, she put it in pari passu with how their own elections in the country went and how it was handled. Basically, the voice of the people spoke louder than whatever it was the judiciary wanted, or possibly what the opposition party in Malawi wanted. Let's take a listen to her.
President used the TPEX to change figures. Our award-winning judiciary nullified the elections. Distinguished ladies, so when I went home, being interviewed how Nigeria was, I told them about this question, and Malawians were amused. We learn every day. Vote by.
Party won.
Today, now to my speech. I have decided that I will broaden my theme. We will touch a lot of issues, at the end of which I will ask questions that you will take home, because Africa needs answers to the issues that are affecting us. Nobody is going to come into Africa to do this for us. We must do it ourselves. And the Zik of Africa, the great Zik of Africa, led the way. Today, 16th of November, is not an ordinary day. Nandi Azikiwe would have been 119, as you've heard already. He died at the age of 91 in May 1996. We are here to honor the life of a gallant fighter for human rights and justice, a man that embodied humanity and servant leadership, a man who we are and have continued to celebrate, the great Azikiwe of Africa. We are also a few weeks away from October 1, the day that he became first president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1963. A formidable group. We're not just sitting home. I'm therefore honored to be here as we celebrate Nandi Azikiwe legacy. And as it turns out now, it is the global south that is paying the price. That is what we must bear in mind this afternoon. Colonization still has a bad taste in our mouths. Decades long after our hero like Ziki stood up and demanded what belonged and still belonged to us, which is freedom and our wealth. It has been argued in other quarters that time is past for us to keep blaming some of Africa's challenges and the state of affairs on colonization and that ended decades ago. There's a case to be made either way, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Most African states are really independent from their colonizers. As to what extent that independence means remains debatable. We have seen some former colonial powers continue to control how we should lead our lives to help developing countries, and particularly Africa, mitigate global warming effects. By the way, because of the noise I've been making on this matter, in April of this year, I was appointed the Pan-African voice on the loss and damage. Here every day, that is, Botswana is one of the richest countries on the continent. They have the highest reserves. And I pay tribute to Botswana's founding father, Seretse Khama, who, when they discovered the diamonds, he made sure there are measures put in place that it shall not be easily accessible. And this sitting president now, I'm told he has said no export of our raw diamonds, but also investors that want to come and invest in mining in our country, 50-50. You are not going to exploit Africa all the way from wherever. You are going to come and it is going to be 50-50 with the people of Botswana. So when somebody in Botswana gets land, he will go to the government to get a tractor. And then he will go and farm. And he will go back to government to get seeds and fertilizers free. With our precious stones to unknown. All these challenges on our women and girls. Men as well, but they have told us that the face of poverty are women and girls. As we speak, and I don't know how this is acceptable, as we speak, 50 million girls are out of school in Africa alone. I go back and forth, and I ask my fellow women in Africa to say, let's rise, let's fight, let's raise our voices, let's demand that we should have equal representation. So I asked her, I said, this country where you live, how many women are in parliament? 18%. Have you yet achieved in 200 years equal? A few questions. Because then I have got this speech that will be given out, but I thought in the interest of time, I should just say the following. Meanwhile, the representation of women in Nigerian politics has been going down since 2011. This is a country of great women, great men, great achievers. You are leading in sport, in music, in everything. The African women from Nigeria are leading WTO, United Nations. In fact, I was saying in another speech somewhere, one day we shall have a prime minister in London from Nigeria. It can happen. So the question that bothers me is why is the same not happening in Parliament? These last elections I came and I watched my fellow women cry, trying so hard. As it turned out, what they had sent me to come and discuss with President Buhari a year and a half ago was 6%. And President Buhari said, Madam Joyce Banda, we will take the bill to Parliament. And our distinguished president did just that. And the bill ended up in Parliament. And it was thrown out. So what do we do? As long as women are sitting out of that August House, who is looking at issues that affect women and children? I am so proud to be saying this here because I have my distinguished brothers here that can help us change that narrative. I have been asked, are you a feminist? And I've said yes, but I'm an African feminist. I don't fight men. I'm never rude to them. I don't confront, I engage them. Because our brothers.
All right, you just listened to the ex-Malawian president there. She was basically advocating for women's rights in politics and, of course, women representation largely in parliament. Also talked about the potential that Nigeria has. Unfortunately, we have been bedeviled or overwhelmed by our colonial masters, and the people's interests are not taken to be in the forefront. Now, represented in that particular meeting, we held Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. We also have the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, there, while she gave out and reeled out all of her speeches concerning African politics, specifically in Nigeria, Botswana, and other African nations that are actually practicing a system of government which we call democracy. Now, I want to talk about the fact that ever since the appeal court ruling, we've had several reactions coming up. Former Senator Sheikh Husani, who represented Kaduna Central Senatorial Zone, has advised political parties in Nigeria to be aware that courts are utilizing party membership, Congress, and primaries to overturn the outcomes of general elections in the country. Further speak to the APC member. So he says now the courts are using party membership, party congresses, and party primaries to overturn the results of general elections. But political parties must take serious note of these traps. Now, regardless of the monthly dues he's referring to, what exactly is going on with our courts, especially the Court of Appeal? Recently, a lot of Nigerians are not content with the ruling, and somehow they just make decisions based on some form of, I don't know how they interpret the Constitution to suit the narrative of their ruling. You know that the one of Plateau State now, they overturned the ruling by the tribunal. They actually went against what the tribunal ruling was to give a different verdict. Can you kindly explain what exactly is this whole, meander?
We thank God that they still have rights of appeal up to Supreme Court.
Okay.
But in one term, the court will tell you that issue that has to do with political parties pre-election matters. And then the appropriate people to bring up that action are supposed to be members of some political party. Wasn't what a part of what they said about Shetima's case. They're supposed to be members of the political party that will bring up the issue of improper nomination and not people from another party. And the same vein again, the same court again, is now allowing the opposition to bring up the issue that has to do with nomination, party nomination.
Okay.
What the Constitution stated, and that's what I also affirm, is that any candidate that will go for election must be sponsored by a political party, must be a member of a political party, and must be sponsored by that political party.
Okay.
You understand my point now? For me, it is the party that will say that this man is not our member, and we did not sponsor him. And not the other party meddling into the affairs of, just as somebody coming to tell my father I'm not his son. When my father did not say I'm not his son. What concerns you with that? There was a case that a man was forced to go and do DNA that the son is not his son. The man said it's not doing, that the son is his son. And the other man went to court. Court said it is the father that has the right to question the paternity of his child or not, and not you. Since he said that the son is his son, you can't force him to do that DNA. But now the appeal court is now doing DNA of other political parties instead of other, the members of the political party, which is very, very wrong. And these are the things that are bringing suspicion, accusation of bias, of compromise, of kind of one-sided ruling, of being an instrument in the hands of the ruling party, and all that. And these are not good to our democracy. And in democracy, yes, let me say it now.
Okay.
Courts have more responsibilities.
Okay.
To protect the interests of the opposition party than the ruling party. The ruling party are always suspicious of trying to muzzle out all the oppositions. So it is even on the same. They have the machinery, they have the DSS, they have the police, they have the army, they have all the agencies, they have so many things. They shouldn't have the courts also. But in Nigeria here, the ruling party will always, the first thing they will always have is the courts.
You know, Sarah has sued the federal government.
Then where now will the opposition run to? Where would they run to? They can't run to the police. They're the agents of the ruling party. They can't run to DSS. They can't run to the army. They can't run to EFCC. These are the appointees of the party in power, the ruling party, the government. It's only the courts, but now courts is the unsafest place
Barrister Jerry,
for them to even run
to reiterate or buttress what you're just saying now, a public affairs analyst, and also a legal practitioner, his name is Rilwan Okpanachi. He stated that most of the cases that are being determined by the court are nothing but a clear case of non-compliance on the part of INEC, which is why I asked you that question. I said, why has it been that the court completely exonerated INEC? I'm coming. He made a statement. He made a statement in reaction to the claims of malpractice on the the part of INEC after elections. Now, in the interview, he says there will be no need for court cases if there was compliance with the Electoral Act and the Constitution by the parties and INEC. And according to him, he said, when political parties have issues, they are to approach the court of law. So the court is not wrong, according to what he's saying, in intervening in the circumstance, because that is what it is meant to do. If there is compliance with the Electoral Act and the Constitution in the conduct of the election on the part of political parties and on the part of INEC, then there will be no business for the court intervening in the process. But he says, when you look at it critically, most of the cases that are being determined by the court are nothing but a clear case of non-compliance on the part of INEC, which brings me to my question.
I've actually raised this issue. I raised this issue during Anambra election in 2021. I think on our rise. In fact, this day, Abati actually spoke extensively on that after they interviewed me. And the next day, it was on this day newspaper, 2021, I think around September, October, November 2021, before Anambra State governorship election. I've always said it, when there was issue of this nomination of Soluda and the one honorable member that was not proper, they were having issues all over after the primary of Abga and Anambra State. And then they were which one was like valid Congress or whatever. And I said, INEC should be brought to book. Because the Electoral Act is very, very clear that every Congress must be monitored by INEC, supervised by INEC, attended by INEC, and then a report written by INEC. So why would we be having like a kind of issues about congresses and which one that is valid or not valid? INEC should be called into that issue to like state clearly which one they were part of, which one complied with the Electoral Act, which one they supervise, and which one they did not supervise. It's not even supposed to be an issue. They're supposed to be made a witness. But unfortunately, when you go to court, INEC will not be made a witness, and they will not do anything. And the whole blame will be like on the political party, even when it is quite obvious that these are the statutory duties of INEC. And then again, a person that actually won election will lose his victory because of that. My own submission is, even if we have such issues, court should go beyond that to know that you cannot deprive people of who they trusted to be their leader, to be at the helm of affairs of their of within that 4 years in the community or state.
Okay.
The best thing that court should do is you look beyond and order for fresh election. The bottom part of everything must be that the wishes of people must prevail. You don't go to the wishes of put through any legality in democracy. Democracy is not determined by the courts. Whatever the court wants to rule, if there is non-compliance, court will go at what level do we have this non-compliance?
Okay.
If it is a party primary level, then they go back and conduct their primary properly. But let the party fund it or sponsor it. At what cost against it? Let them go back and conduct it. If I left, let the final arbiter, people that will determine who assumes any office, be the people. And not watching this is democracy, it's not military autocracy or civilian rule. It is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Whatever the court is doing must ultimately reflect the wishes of the people. Where court is in doubt as whether the wishes of people actually triumph, they should order for fresh election. You don't award votes or award victory or whatever to a person that people did not choose. Look at the man that's in Secos in Imo States now. Look at so many people, the places that they get that kind of decision. What it has cost. Even if Bayelsa State, court also get that kind of decision. But that one was basically on qualification based on nomination. One person that was nominated, but for me, that Delhi and Leon's case should have gone back to the electorals. I'm not declaring Delhi, even of PDP, to become the governor when he don't win the popular votes of the people. We have to be very, very clear and unambiguous on this. Whether favorable to PDP or APC, court should come out to know that democracy ought to be the government of the people, and the wishes of people must triumph. If there was a kind of a non-compliance or a kind of issues regarding the process or the procedure leading to that general voting of the people, it should not thwart the popular opinion or votes of the people. Let them go back. Now, this issue of nomination is a party affair. If a party did not validly nominate a candidate, the party come to tell they didn't sponsor that person. What the electoral act said, the person must be sponsored by a political party. NNPP has not come out to tell they didn't sponsor that Kabiru. They didn't say so. They didn't even say that Kabiru is not their member. And PDP has not gone to court to say, at the point of contesting election, Kabiru is still our member. So what concerns APC there?
That's a question.
Do they have locals at all in law?
So how did the court come to that conclusion?
Because what is their interest? How would that thing concern them? The people that should have brought that application in court should be PDP. That this man is still our member, even at the point of contesting this election. He has not validly resigned as a member.
So he should not be a valid candidate of New Nigerian People's Party.
And that grant court to nullify the election. Say everybody should go back to the post. Let the wishes of the Kano people, Kano citizens prevail. Whether valid nomination, invalid nomination, improper nomination, except in a situation where you discover that the person that was declared winner was not actually the winner by the virtue of the popular votes.
Very true.
By virtue of popular votes.
In reaction to what you were saying,
nonsense.
Sarah Budget and 34 concerned Nigerians have sued President Tinubu over the appointment of alleged APC members and associates of high-ranking politicians as resident electoral commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Senate has confirmed 7 out of the 10 newly appointed recs for INEC, and the individuals allegedly affiliated with the APC hold positions in Akwa Ibom, Edo, Lagos, and Rivers states. Now, beyond that, also, you do recall that Femi Fani-Kayode has said it, that by 2027, they would ensure that the Labour Party will become obsolete. Right now, it seems that the Labour Party is a strong opposition contender. The PDP seems to be to have not really shown that strength of opposition beyond the fight that was recently fought by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, where he fought to get the president's academic record, which he said, according to him, was forged. That was a major fight. It almost seemed like a do or die situation, because it's like he knew that if he did not do it now, he may not have another opportunity to do it. Now, Daniel Obwala is also complaining that the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, is dining with President Bola Tinubu and the APC and abandoning the idea of positioning PDP as an opposition party. In fact, there have been speculations that Daniel Obwala may be porting back to the APC because he used to be an APC member. Now he's actually saying that if he was going to announce porting back to the APC, he will be the one to announce it. But that he actually decided to have that interview with TVC. That unfortunately TVC coined the phrase differently, more like gave a misleading headline which quoted him out of context.
They're notorious for.
So, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, it almost seems like there's a deliberate machination to weaken the opposition party. Right now, with what is ongoing, a lot of critics like you believe that 2027 is the next target. This particular administration is installing persons in sensitive positions to ensure that happens. In fact, the off-cycle election is a reflection of what may actually take place in 2027. And seeing this, Atiku Abubakar now called that all opposition parties should come together, possibly form or merge, so that they can wrestle power from the All Progressives Congress in 2027. The New Nigerian People's Party has reacted. They said it's a good call, but that if at all that would happen, their own presidential candidate must be the one to be the flag bearer. The Labour Party said they are still having conversations, but they have not made any remark as regards to that. Now, the Labour Party itself is already factionalized. You have Lamidi Akpakpa stating that Peter Obi and others should actually congratulate Bola Tinubu, just like George Weah of Liberia did. Now, there are what you call deliberate foundational elements within the opposition party, the Labour Party, as well as the PDP. The PDP, you have what you call Nyesom Wike. You do recall what is going on with the people with the Nyesom Wike situation. Now, the Labour Party is a faction. If these minor, or would I say opposition political parties, do not heed to the advice of Atiku Abubakar, what do you think will happen in 2027?
Yeah, let's well, first and foremost,
come closer to the mic.
2027 is a little bit far away, but we have to start.
Plans are already on ground for that.
A strong foundation ahead of time. Being visionary is very, very important in politics. Being futuristic and being strategic ahead of time, because Nigeria is going down the drain on daily basis, and we have seen it quite clear. The APC people are not ready for governance. They are ready for power, just to use power to further whatever interest they want, to perpetuate themselves in power, because nothing is getting better. Nothing is getting better. You know, when you have bad leadership, there will be more excuses and propaganda than real results. And they can, excuse giver can excuse anything. Once I see somebody giving excuses, if it's in my office, I find a way to relieve that person of the duty. Than people owning up, oh, I'm so sorry, it is my fault. Okay. This actually I was caused by me, and see what I will do. But if you look at the propaganda machinery of APC and how they have recruited so many, jobless people into the system, turning everything, a kind of argument they brought up everywhere, how they justify everything and anything, you discover that, look, we have a long way to go. The only option available is to find a way to get them out of the seat of power. I don't have anything against. If they're doing well, I'll benefit. I know a lot of Nigerians traveling outside this country, go to embassy and see thousands of people. It wasn't like that. I've been going towards Ikoyi, where they have this immigration labor policies there. I go there frequently. Before, don't even know when you pass there. And then to pass that place because of traffic of people trying to access their visa and passports, everything is something hellish. Nigerians, somebody told me can even be a nanny, a graduate. Well, full-blown graduate telling me he wants to go abroad and become a nanny. So he wants to go and clean up, some places and local government and be Uber driver or be like refuse cleaner and abroad. It's not just about the money, it's about diminishing the status of your countrymen because of bad leadership. And look at other countries, look at what happened in Liberia, where other countries are even showing us levels.
All right.
That they can do it. So the point now is that there must be coercion.
In a surprising turn of events,
must unite.
In a surprising turn of events, the former vice president, who is the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, and Peter Obi were recently seen in a party embracing each other.
They were never enemies.
They were never enemies. But based on that particular situation, speculations are rife that possibly these are signs of measured talks.
Peter Obi and Atiku were never enemies. I think it's fallout of how happened in PDP.
Okay.
Concerning zoning and everything actually created that problem. PDP did not manage their diversity very well. It was a very big mistake for PDP to allow APC, Labour to emerge in the first place. Because all the places that Labour showed strong influence and presence are strongholds of PDP. If Labour did not emerge out of PDP, do you understand my point now? Southeast and South wouldn't have been we have been 100% a no-go area for any opposition party. Middle belt would have been a no-go area for any opposition party. And some strong states in the north. I mean, some strong states in the southwest too. Like Osun and the Oyo state will still have actually maintained their party structure. And even Lagos would have still voted the way they voted. So it was actually because of that diversity they were not able to manage in terms of zoning and other things. And then the personality of people like Nyesom Wike and his attitude. And now he was so manipulative of everything in that PDP. From Ayochu, from the one that was that his one, the one from Rivers State, there was former PDP chairman. This guy from Rivers State.
Amechi?
Not
former
Amechi.
Governor.
The former PDP chairman from Rivers State. Nyesom Wike nominated and also removed.
Could it be Dakwekwe Peter's side? No, not Dakwekwe Peter, but Dakwekwe Peter's side of APC.
No, former Uche Secondus.
Okay.
Uche Secondus was former PDP chairman from Rivers State. Then we came manipulated and got out of that seat and then replaced it with Ayochu, and also wanted to get. So Wike has been like a recalcitrant human being, and he has brought his character into PDP. I was still wondering why PDP never expelled Nyesom Wike today.
Up to today, yeah.
The first thing that PDP is supposed to do, there should not be a mole in the party. The first thing to expel Nyesom Wike from PDP, let him remain with APC.
But as it is now, it's not just Nyesom Wike. Dan Obwala is saying that the chairman of the PDP Governance Forum is hobnobbing with the president. He's always around the president. Bala
Mohammed will also be looked at. Activities will also be looked into. PDP has a very good, advantage going for them. PDP has membership all over Nigeria. They have been in power for years, and people love them because things were better. It was a government, even though it was not up to what we expected them. But when we embrace APC, we now saw the difference. APC has no human face. They have no conscience. They have no mind. They're not sensitive at all. They formed like a very terrible cabal. I went to buy something today for Sunday, food or whatever. More than 7 persons begged me for money. These are local people that used to survive.
Barrister Joe, in going back to the Kano, in going back to the Kano Supreme
and AP and the Labour Party and the NMPP or whatever, NMPP should know what cost them the overrated issue of Kwankwaso was part of what is cost problem for them. Prior to the election of 2023, Kwankwaso never believed that P2B is anybody. or can win anything. He wrote him off. Even in Chatham House, he wrote him off. He rated himself so high.
Okay.
And in politics, you don't show what you go for is victory.
Okay.
You find a way to win. They are fighting with APC. APC has actually had their spread too. Do you understand? They have their spread too. And nobody will ever hear that it's going to be removed from where he's. When I was in school, my mentor told me that power is white hot. It is very, very sweet. That nobody has ever given it willingly. It's always taken. Nobody has ever given it to another person. It's always what? Taken. So APC will not just fold their hands and arms and wait and arms and wait for PDP to come and take wrestle power from them. They'll also put up a fight. And they're in power. So PDP should put their house in order. Both Labour, both NMPP, all those, 3 of them are from PDP. Yes, I just supported P2B out of without having any interest in political party or whatever. If I remain with PDP, he will still have had almost 70% of that support that he had even in as presidential party. That was actually what
you recall that the PDP they sounded a grave warning to Nigerians, where this and the international community, they flagged a dangerous slide into what they termed totalitarianism and anarchy under the rule of the All Progressives Congress. Now, the statement was signed by its national publicity secretary, Debo Onanugbaga, and the PDP accused the APC of systematically dismantling democratic institutions, mainly targeting INEC and the judiciary, which I don't know if it's what we can attribute to what played out now. They alleged a concerted effort to mold a one-party state in Nigeria, citing manipulated elections and contradictory court judgments that seemingly defy the country's constitution, electoral laws, and INEC's regulations. They expressed profound concerns over contested electoral outcomes in Plateau, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Nasarawa, and other states.
They want to root out all the places that PDP actually
That's
won.
basically what that's what a lot of
what they couldn't get
not just PDP, any other opposition political party. That's how it seems.
And then just go to court. What they couldn't get at the field through the popular votes
yes.
They now want to get them through the courts. They are creating a very big monster. Let me tell you, they are creating monster. People, you don't rule people if the world don't want you to rule them. Go and read how Roman Empire collapsed. Go and read how Persian Empire collapsed. Go and even read how British Empire collapsed. You don't rule people if they don't want you to rule them. The easiest way to rule the people is allow them to dictate, choose how you rule them. And you rule them. When they say I don't want you again, you go. Like this Kwankwaso, he was one Senate governor. He came second term. Shakarau won him. They voted him out. They tested Shakarau. When it's got Shakarau, Kwankwaso was even better. They brought Kwankwaso in again. He won. That is democracy. At that point, they said they don't want you again. Go. They might still want you tomorrow, and you come back. Well, they might have tested the other person and say, oh, this man is better. At any point in time, it must be the wishes of the people. What APC is now doing that, any place like in Lagos, all the places that Labour Party actually won, House of Reps or whatever,
contested.
APC is contesting all of them, gambling it through the courts to find a way to get them all out. Must you force yourself onto the people? If they don't want you, you want other places. The beauty of democracy is opposition. Is a kind of a multi-dimensional political party in the same place.
The Southwest Secretary of the New Nigeria People's Party, Dr. Babatunde Oke, has declared that party membership is an internal affair of political parties. Now, in a statement today after the court ruling, he said that the Court of Appeal has no right to determine who is a member of any political party in the country.
Yes.
Now, of course, on Friday, the Court of Appeal ruled that Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf is not a member of the NNPP, and that the court in its judgment held that Yusuf was not qualified to contest the election because he was not a member. So he reacted and he said that the appeal court and the Kano State chapter of the APC has no rights to determine who is a member of the NNPP, and that he advised the court and the APC not to dabble into the internal affairs of the party, which is almost the same ruling that was given by the Supreme Court in the case of Kashim Shettima, the vice president.
His own case was even a kind of a bit logical. Court can even come in. No, court might even slightly come in than this one.
That's what I'm saying. So it had a bit of logic.
Double nomination.
Yes.
Representing this party and representing this party, or holding this ticket.
He was still holding a ticket of one party.
Senatorial election. Why being nominated as a vice president? This one is entirely issue of nomination. There was no case of like Uche in Imo State was double nomination, holding APC and holding AA, African Alliance or whatever. You know, just my point. I'm saying there was, but in the case of Kano State, there was nothing like double nomination. PDP had their own candidates that contested that same election. It wasn't that as if PDP had no candidate.
Okay.
Or this my man represented both PDP and the MPP. No, he was not even nominated on PDP. He was not nominated as a candidate at PDP. He was not nominated.
My question is, when the court was giving his ruling, why didn't they give any punitive measure to INEC?
But let us,
INEC is highly complicit in the whole of this thing.
We are still going to Supreme Court. Although whenever you see all these things flying like this, sometimes Supreme Court will even be like in waiting. Let them collect
like
us
what transpired during the presidential
let us
elections.
also come and put a stamp to it and go and rest. After we're not the one that said it first. Are we the first person that said it? That is what our Supreme Court is turning into. Supreme Court is like a place that at the end of the day you see men that when they sit, may their souls rest in peace. Kayode should rest on them or put on the rest of them. May their souls rest in peace. Father Williams, when you see them, you see men that are above board. They will declare what the law is. They say what the law is, but let us believe that Supreme Court, let us not speak with air of finality until the Supreme Court will not ratify that. But we have to start crying.
The Supreme Court does not even have to come before there needs to be a sense of logic in this whole thing. 165,000 people voted. INEC did not sign, and you didn't question it. Nobody asked any question. No punitive measure was given to INEC.
In any issue in court, matter in court that they recommended INEC to show that APC and INEC are like in bed.
But why? If the institution
the major people that will be receiving their tax ought to be INEC, so they will
Barrister Joe, if an institution that is meant to be like a mediator to ensure that we have free, fair, transparent elections seem to show a sense of bias, seems to almost go against its own electoral laws, does not carry on any punitive measures. I don't know if you recall that in the off-cycle elections, a lot of INEC officials were indicted. We've not heard anything about what's going on with them. Some of them went off with ballot papers. Polling units, ballot boxes, papers were already filled, thumb printed upon in those polling units.
Is it not Supreme Court also that actually gave them that? Is it not Supreme Court that said that BVAS or what IRF, that those are no longer important? It is the court that is destroying our democracy, my dear. Everybody knew that off-season election would be like that, because following what Supreme Court said during presidential election, they've given the blanket opportunity of people to go and do whatever they like out the field. If democracy dies today, it's not the politicians that killed it, it's our courts that killed it. I'm a lawyer, so I know what I'm saying. If democracy dies in Nigeria today, or there's a military intervention today in Nigeria, it is the courts that killed our democracy. I'm not even the politicians, because the courts are there to stop all these excesses. Have you ever seen when a court was awarded by INEC, even the tribunal for presidential awarded heavy costs for PDP and Labour for coming to court to question the election, that what they believe that did not represent the wishes of the people, instead of court to commend them by being civil. Just my point now, by being civil, by not encouraging touts to go to the streets, by not encouraging protests around the same court that you say call a court in democracy that country should be proud of, gave them awarded 14 or 15 million, if not Supreme Court, I said there was no cost for coming to court. Court will award heavy costs. Court has the right to say that, but a party should bear their respective costs. I'm a lawyer, it happens in matters. But the same court, for you to now see the hand of the opposition, let us punish them. If not because there was public outcry in Nigeria, Supreme Court will have upheld that cost. People will have gone, and PDP will have gone with 40-50 million for coming to court to seek redress, and you call that a country? So you ought to now say that if you fail and lose the election, go mobilize mobs, mobilize towns, carry guns, don't come to us. Well, how will somebody know whether he win a case or not in court? It's not, we call it course of action has a reasonable belief. A reasonable belief that wrong has been done, you go to court. Court will not tell whether that wrong was done or not. Why you be in your house and conclude that wrong was done? No! You go to court, court will tell you that wrong you thought that was done was not wrong. But go home, you have tried. By not throwing the other parts of violence, or killing, or murder, or robbery, or whatever, to vent your anger, or carry out your vengeance. But now this is what you see in the courts. So the courts are not encouraging. There is no way democracy will develop in Nigeria. politicians are what they are. They have interest. They have vested interest. They spend money. They spend time. They want to be in power. They want to control resources. They want to become ministers and ambassadors. Would the nomination even go on? How would their names be on the ballot papers? It's not the same way that put them on the ballot papers. So if they have closed their portal, how were they registered? Gamije is talking like a dullard. How can somebody with sense believe that kind of analysis? Because as a lawyer, I usually subject every article to serious scrutiny and use my sense as a lawyer to question it. Now INEC put their names in ballot papers. The same INEC that have closed their portals. INEC will have told them, you young men, oh, we are sorry, we have closed our portals, we can't register you any longer. And they will not go ahead to put their name on the ballot papers to contest the election. So if that thing happens, or if Gambian telling us INEC are like dubious people, they are fraudsters, that after they have closed their portal, they see accepted nominations, see put their name on the ballot papers, take collected money from them. Yes, is not saying and people are Yahoo boys. So Gandhi is calling people Yahoo boys, Yahoo people. That's what he's saying. He's talking to dunces that will believe him. They are trying to find a way to justify all their mischievous maneuvering, thinking that people believe that. That write-off for me is like belongs to the trash can. Because if you assess it very, very well, their names are on the ballot papers, yet INEC did not register them. Who registered them? Who put them in that ballot paper? Who put their names on the contest? Who monitored the elections? The same INEC that did not register, that closed their portals. I bet Anglia should go, whatever they come, should go and sit down.
He still outlined the APC's strategic roadmap. He highlighted plans to leverage Governor Hope Uzodimma's potential second-term bid to cement the party's credibility and acceptance in the region. He said, "We won the election in all the 27 local government areas. We won with over 500,000 votes. Ebonyi and Imo are APC, but we are eyeing the 3 other states. We are going to use Imo State as a launch pad to win the zone to APC." The APC chairman also revealed intentions to employ a multifaceted approach, which includes electronic registration of members from the ward, local government, and state levels. So he says he wants to use the elections in Imo State as a yardstick to get across to other southeastern states so that the APC becomes fully embedded in the southeastern states. And so the question a lot of critics are asking is, where are the oppositions? What are they doing? What are they doing to strategically implement themselves?
Let me speak like the former president. I assure you. Let me assure you of our president. I will always say, for Anambra State, be rest assured that APC is not entering there.
Are you sure?
In their next 1 million.
Some of the Anambra indigenes are complaining of Charles Oludo.
Just what I'm telling you is that APC is not entering Anambra State. Go and mark it 100%. APC cannot. If any party will enter in Anambra, it might be like Labour Party if they want to. But Anambra people, they say where they play their politics. Anambra is like a unique state when it comes to politics. They don't do politics of, this toggery or whatever. They don't do politics of stomach infrastructure. They don't collect money and move around. No, they are like well satisfied. You need to go there during an election and see how they conduct the election. APC and Yuba with all his contacts and everything, whatever, tried it. And 3 times they got him down.
So what happened to Imo State? How did Imo State? How did Imo State become porous?
Yes, I don't know. In Enugu State, I don't know, but I'm not seeing APC making any single headway in Enugu State. True. If anything should happen in Enugu, it might be like between PDP and Labour. In Enugu State, I don't see that happening. Then in Abia State, I don't see APC coming close to anything. Seat of
what
power.
Alex Oti has been doing.
Yes, in Imo State. For these 3 places in the southeast, I can assure you, in the voice of, they are not notorious. They are not hungry. They are not people that you cannot take their words. Like Anambra people, for instance, their politics is very, very solid, strongly fortified. That they know what they want, and you cannot manipulate them violently. They will also kill you in that election ground that day. If you come there to do that toggery, boys, they will overwhelm you and kill you. They will kill you by themselves. They don't do politics like that. In Enugu, there's something that plays a role there in their governance, and APC can never win election as governorship in Enugu State. They let them unleash the whole talks. You know what happened in Anambra when they by fire by force got Jim Wobodo out and put Ono there? That were part of what led to the coup. It's just a point. And in Abia State, Aba people, Aba boys. So I don't think APC, if they come there fire for fire, arms for arms, weapon for weapon, they'll finish them. And they are smart enough not to even allow it. Those states are like out for development. Imo State was like something that was a big error that nobody knew how it occurred. And they bought into it. But these three other states, especially Anambra, forget about APC coming in there. Even if I remember that they come there, he knew what he saw. Tim Hamilton has contested. Anambra is not like that. When an election is coming up in Anambra, every person from Anambra is a stakeholder in that election. Those in abroad, they will send money, they will send people, they will travel home, they will be at home.
Okay.
Just on my point. So, Soludo will do well. If he doesn't do well, Anambra people will replace him.
Okay.
Either with somebody from Labour and not APC. Just the Anambra people, they always have the kind of people they project for governorship. They know somebody they want. By this election, they wanted Soludo across all parties, almost. The other guy from PDP, Ozigbo, was good. But they felt that Soludo was like better. So he came second. They never wanted them to at all. I see where they put him.
All right,
so that's
Joe. Now, former Sports Minister Solomon Lalong has said that the ruling of the Supreme Court on the disputes from the 2023 presidential election set a crucial precedent in Nigeria's electoral framework, which, according to him, puts a clandestine relationships between politicians and chiefs of the Independent National Electoral Commission as a top requirement to win elections over the choice of the electorates and popular democratic participation. According to him, he said that he served as a former president. He served under former President Muhammadu Buhari between 2015 and 2019 as Minister of Sports. And so he said people who participate in elections without befriending the Electoral Commission's chairman may not get justice. That's basically what he said. He says he's busy trying to study, but he has been advising those interested in election to campaign in INEC offices to try and befriend Professor Mahmoud, because anything outside this, you are not going to get justice. He said this position, he argued, has far-reaching implications for the integrity of the electoral process in ways that could potentially impede popular democracy in the country's governance and political system. Which brings the question to, why was it that the presidential election, when it came to uploading results on the INEC portal, all of a sudden they said there was a system glitch?
We know what's happened.
No, but what Lalong served under former President Muhammadu Buhari, and he's speaking from a point of something that he knows from a certain stance.
I think former American President or diplomat said, it's not he that votes that determines who wins, but who counts the results. Do you understand my point? It's not he that votes that determines who wins the election, but he who counts the results. It's playing its role in Nigeria. You see who counts the results. And that is a very, 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 very injurious to democracy and democratic growth and success or progress in Nigeria. If people's votes will not count, then what are we practicing? That's why after the whole hula baloo, we discover we are practicing civilian regime and not democratic system of governance. There are two different things. Civilian regime is different from democracy. We are not practicing democracy in Nigeria presently. We are practicing a civilian regime. Because if for you to win an election, you must be a friend of INEC chairman, then what does that portend to our democracy? It means that we are not practicing democracy. If a winner of election ought not to even know who Mahmoud is, what are you doing with him? The essence of democracy is your popularity within the people, your acceptability within the people, your relative kind of trust within the people, and belief and hope.
This is a very weighty allegation.
Because he was part of the system, he knew what they did in their own time. Now, what determines who becomes senator in Nigeria? INEC and the courts. If you miss it out in INEC, you go to the court and get it. These are not apparatus of democracy in any progressive civilization or society. And the injury is creating to Nigeria is very, very monumental. If we don't curb it at this level there's still how we can witness any development. Because any democratic society without proper democracy cannot progress. The fear of the leaders is the people. But when they don't have that fear of who puts them there, how would they now go in there and work for those people? People fear the electorate because you go back to them to canvass for votes. And if they say they don't want to again because of your performance, what happens? You will not go back. So when that fear is no longer on the populace, on the site, on the people, on the electors, how will you now go back and start fighting for what will benefit them? They will not. And that's why we look at the roads I saw in Nsukka, on Enugu Nsukka, whatever, Benue Express Road. Look at the one we saw in Edo State, Bini Auchi Road. Look at the one we saw in Bini or whatever road, or Asaba Road. Those roads, why would they care? But they know that you are not important to them. Whether you vote them or not, they know where to get their victory. Why would that bother them? In a place that you have functional democracy, progressive democracy, that road issue there is provocative enough to make the federal government to lose the election.
A lot of people affirm now that INEC is APC. That's basically the statement a lot of
from what happened during presidential election.
Saying with how the judgments from the court have been coming.
Who doesn't know that? When you uploading during presidential election, you switch off the system and say there was a glitch, which I have not explained to anybody to today what happened. And now Supreme Court in their ruling, that was I was crying. I said, Supreme Court has destroyed our democracy. Supreme Court has destroyed our democracy. Supreme Court has destroyed I was crying here. Why would the Supreme Court rule that electronic transmission is not mandatory? Why would they rule that IRF is not important? How would they rule that BVAS is not necessary? Say, look at what operates in the whole of rivers, in the not rivers, Imo States, in Bayelsa, in Kogi States. Was there election in all those places?
All right.
Was there election in all those places? People printed all over the whole place. There was no data capturing.
We need to take calls now.
That's the problem we have. It is. I said it. I'm saying it again as a lawyer. They can come and pick me up or do whatever they want to do because we'll say the truth. If a democracy dies today, our courts killed it. The very day Supreme Court ruled that electronic transmission is not necessary was the day that the modern democracy, the little achievement that Buhari made, Supreme Court, because of their selfish interests. Because they want to align with a certain ruling and make sure that they validated what Nigerians knew was abysmal aberration. They have to destroy our democracy. So electronic transmission mandatory. So they have created the monster that is devouring us. In Kogi State it was like that. They even killed them. In most states they killed. They printed. We saw them. They said electronic transmission BVAS, I read it. They are not important. Because they want to make Tinubu president at all costs. The rain is falling on all of us. I said 7 persons asked me for money today. Are they my relatives? No.
All right.
Are they from my
you can
tribe?
be part of the conversation by calling the number 0700 903 903 903. We're currently streaming live on YouTube. It's at VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. We're currently streaming live. And of course, like I said, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. That's the WhatsApp number. And call us on 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Hello. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name and location?
Hey, my name is Kuka. I'm calling from Mojo.
All right, Kuka.
Good evening.
Evening. How are you, Kuka?
Barrister, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
I totally support what Barrister is saying. Because if you should look at the election in why the court ruled against NPP. The same incident happened in so many other states.
Okay.
In some other elections, House of Rep, senatorial. If they can take the record of all elections that happen in Nigeria, Rep, senatorial election, and look at the reasons why some judgments were given in favor of APC, you discover that there's a failure. Because I used to know that, at least I know that there's what is called judicial precedent. What happened in Kano against NNPP, when you go to other states, you will overlook it and rule against it. So the democracy is about to die. So except something is done, is done about it. If not, I'm sorry for Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Name and location, please. Hello.
Yeah, this is Collins.
Collins. All right, Collins. Welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Yeah, the democracy we are talking about, they are more.
Hello, Collins. Your network seems to be poor.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, but you're on speaker. Can you mute your device, the audio of your
Hello?
device?
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Go ahead then.
All right. I said that the democracy in Nigeria now has been murdered. And the strength of the opposition in 2027 is growing too tiny. I witnessed Imo State election, I cried. I observed it, although I don't really want to say who I am or how I participated in it. But I saw that people that they recruited, the INEC officers are partitions officers. They are the member of APC with all proof, tenable proof, I know that. And if they challenge me, I can bring my evidences. Now, the people that they were calling the uniform men are people that they sew uniform and they gave unto them, which I know that if you see them, you may call them policemen or soldiers. These people are people that Hope Uzodinma sponsored. And the hijacking of the ballot boxes, you may be looking at the people that did it, you call them officers. These are the propaganda that they laid down. Thirdly, the people that they are voting there, which I observe, they are more or less the people that they employed from the outside of the state, have created their PVC, and that is the reason why the number of the total votes we are larger than the number of the presidential votes in the state. Can you hear me well?
You're breaking, but continue.
Now, what I do suggest in 2027, if the same APC muzzle up their strength against the opposition, let the opposition withdraw and protest. Because there will be no single election whereby the APC being the how can I call it, the father now, or how can I call it, in fact, and then the opposition, at the end of the day, they will not allow them, or they will turn off, or they overturn their results and become the ruler. If at all they did not allow them to exercise their rights, then let Labour and every other opposition party withdraw and let them protest. Because if you don't want me in your house to say my rights, if you don't want me in your house to come up with my voters, then how will you allow me to exercise my rights if you people don't want me?
All right. We need to take more calls. You've taken 3 minutes now, so we can receive other calls. Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Please, when you call, you just have 2 minutes to speak. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, yes, name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Ilewe.
From Ilewe?
Yes.
Where is that? I'm sorry, Emmanuel, for asking.
Okay, I want to greet the barrister.
Good
evening, sir. So, and I want to say the politics in Nigeria, I think they have made it a mess.
Hello? Hello? That connection was quite poor. We've lost that call. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Let me read some WhatsApp messages. Good evening, Esther and Barrister Jerry. May 29, 2023, the fuel subsidy gun announcement at the inaugural address of Mr. Tinubu was all encompassing. So, INEC, judiciary, and law enforcement are all acting in accordance to come under the commander-in-chief. Please, in my opinion, is the new normal, and destination is a one-party state. So I really don't know how opposition can sustain existence. but we need vibrant opposition to escape, or who will press the reset button? Simisola from Isolo, Lagos. Thank you, Simisola, for that message. Good evening, VOP. With the nature of elections in Nigeria, where election rigging is a tradition, the only way the ruling party APC can be pushed aside is for the opposition parties, especially PDP and Labour Party, to form an alliance. The issue is, who should be the president? I would at this point suggest that self-ambition of potential presidential aspirants should be let go and seek a national interest. A young person who is not self-centered but has the absolute dream to bring about the new Nigeria that Nigerians are dreaming of will be, or rather will do the magic. Agege from Agege. Thank you, Agege. Alright, Auntie Esther and barristers, Una, good evening. No, my name is Ekele Odoma from Agege. What's going on now with APC? They are calling for anarchy and nothing more. All right. 0700 903 903 903. Barrister Joe, do you know that there is a recent decampaigning on majority of the opposition presidential candidates? There's a recent conversation on the integrity of presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. They are attributing drug-related issues to him. They're referring to his in-law, who was apprehended in the United States or in the United Kingdom, who was also running a drug-related ring operation. They're relating to his time as governor of Anambra State and how people in Anambra State complained vehemently of the fact that the state was poverty-ridden. They complained of kidnapping. They said he hoarded money rather than having to develop institutions. They said they complained of a lot of things. For the past 2 days, there's a heavy campaigning. Also, for the People's Democratic Party, there are statements that Atiku Abubakar's stay within the PDP is very slim. There is a possibility that he may not be in the party come 2027, literally. So these are strong opposition parties that seems to be at a nickel, whereby any little turn they make, they literally may get hurt. Atiku Abubakar, in fact, they said there's a fresh tussle brewing between governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, over a planned return of Senator Samuel Anyanwu. There is also the fact that for Atiku Abubakar, they're saying that PDP governors are not with him. His days are numbered in the party. So these are strong presidential candidates who are forming a strong opposition, and there seems to be a campaign of calumny against these individuals. It's been quite vehement recently, which somehow is affirming a particular statement made by Femi Fani-Kayode that the Labour Party may be obsolete in 2027 if this momentum continues, whereby you render that political party insignificant before
Nigerians
2027.
See, let me tell you.
Hold on, we have a call. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Go
My
ahead.
name is Ola.
Ola.
My name is Ola. Yes.
Location, Ola, please.
I'm calling from other way information.
You're calling from Mushi.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ola, please.
I want to remind the barrister about the issue of this Senator Akpabio.
Okay.
Akpabio did not win election in Akwa Ibom, and he became the Senate president. And the judiciaries, the lawyers are not speaking about it, and they are not taking any action. How can we get positive things for 4 years when that man is in that seat? Is anything going to come out from this? Please, Barista, I want you to enlighten us on this.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Did you hear his question, Barrister Joe?
Yeah, he was saying that Bible did not win an election. How is it not part of what we're saying about our courts? Is it not court that actually validated the process that brought him together with Lawan? I never contested the election. I never contested the primaries. And now you are saying that somebody that the party is not even challenging is not validly nominated. Primaries at all. That we have people, somebody contested primary, they came and took over the tickets. They told them to hold on for them.
Hello.
You validated them.
Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Please, your name.
Hello, good evening. The host of the VOP.
Thank you.
I just want to ask a question.
All right.
Can we go back to Ocean A4 in this nation?
Okay.
Can we go back to Ocean A4 in this nation? And the last one, can we go back to Ocean A4 Because the way we spend money in election,
The political situation is frustrating. You can
Today
tell.
alone, more than 7 persons approached me for assistance.
You said
when I
so.
went to
You said
market.
so.
It was never like that.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Evening. Welcome to the political spotlight. Please, what's your name?
My name is Mr. Oscar. Good evening to
Barrister
your
Joe.
guest.
All right. Go ahead, please.
You know what I discovered in this country? I discovered that doomsday is approaching. You see the way the miscarriage of justice is going on within the judicial industries and judicial system. The way the judges are carrying out their activity, nobody will teach them their jobs. But they should understand that a hungry man is an angry man. Whatever they do, they should also understand that if they think they can pocket everything to themselves, but not everything they can pocket. As they are dancing and whining with the politicians, people are also monitoring them. Today is on Sunday, they deliver judgment. Is it via Zoom or via virtual or whatever?
Yes, I was supposed to ask Barrister Joe about that. That is set for the ruling today.
I've not had that. I've not even witnessed as a lawyer that they can sit on
Was it via
Sundays.
Zoom or via virtual? They deliver the judgment. Or the court supposed to see
My
today?
brother, it's becoming stranger and something very, very strange and stranger by the day. As a lawyer, I've not seen where courts deliver judgments or ruling on Sundays. We see Sundays as public holidays. They've never delivered any ruling on Sundays.
I was stunned when I saw
But I
that
wonder
story
what
today. So what was the
I wonder
hurry?
the reason they gave, except if the last day for delivering judgment will last by tomorrow. Maybe the 90 days.
Okay, maybe that's why they did it today.
Yes, they might quickly deliver it today because if they don't do that, the lawyers may come back to readopt again.
Okay.
And they may not want to do that. I
Okay,
don't
maybe
know,
that could be a logical
But
explanation
then
because
they will have been up and doing. They were there all these while. So we're bringing in Sunday into it. Or is it a ploy for people not to react?
Hello, welcome to the political spotlight.
I don't know. Whenever they want to do something.
Hello, I can hear you.
You see them doing something funny.
My name is Emmanuel calling from Ago.
All right, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think the problem of Nigeria is political parties. Why should they be selling form at that rate, 100 million and all that? Of course, the politicians will go and steal money. When they enter, they will steal money. We should look into the case of political parties and their form.
Thank you. 0700 903 903 903.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, how are you?
Good evening, fine. My name is Jonathan. I'm calling from London.
All right, Jonathan, please go ahead.
So I greet your guests there. Good evening, bros.
All right.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let me quickly jump on these judgments, this court judgments here and there, these conflicting judgments.
Okay.
I say I don't know. The court is not doing itself good by the outcome of this judgment because I don't know how a lawyer will advise his clients with the outcome of all these judgments.
Very pathetic.
When you have a client and for you to advise your client on the necessary step, but with the conflicting judgment here and there, it's terrible. It's terrible. And all this nomination of candidate that Supreme Court has said that is a meddlesome interloper that what was it called? A political party have every right to nominate the candidate, and the same verdict is still APC is still capitalizing on that, the same verdict that APC used on the presidential election. This is a complete messed up. I'm sorry to say it's a complete messed up. And I don't know. I was watching. Is it Olumide Olamide Apata in one international bar association conference on one recent video that is trending now, that is talking about the massive corruption in Nigerian judiciary and the state capture of Nigeria. Yes, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
sir.
I've read it.
Yes, it is a total complete of show of shame. So then, thank you. Let me yield the floor for another caller, please.
Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Let me take some of your messages. Okay, Madam Esther, I don't know why you refused to read my messages. I did not refuse to read it. I was taking calls. However, I'm reading it now. Good evening, my sister and Barrister Nwokedi. My name is Uchenna Uche from Enugu State. My brother, democracy had been redefined in Nigeria to mean government of the people, by the people, and for the judiciary of Nigeria. On the miscarriage of justice in Kano State, Justice Bokachua will later be a saint after the end of all the electoral legal issues are over in Nigeria, because I have never seen a nation like Nigeria where the judiciary will shamelessly surrender her DNA to the ruling party. All right. We also have this particular message. All right. Okay. We have, good evening, VOP. With the nature of elections in Nigeria, where election rigging is a tradition, the only way the ruling party APC can be pushed aside is for the opposition parties, especially PDP and Labour Party, to form an alliance. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp messages, or rather, the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 9039. Barrister Joe, do you believe that the PDP and the Labour Party should merge? And do you see that happening anytime soon?
Yeah, for me, if we are to further strengthen our democracy and project our opposition in a very firm ground, PDP and Labour should merge.
Okay.
Because now they are going separate ways in every election.
Okay.
As further giving APC opportunity of masterminding whatever they want to do. And they also split their votes.
Okay.
And also split the wishes of, because people want a change. Then PDP is presenting a candidate that will do it differently. Labour is presenting a candidate that will do it differently. So you divide the votes of people rooting for change into two.
Okay.
Whereas the people, the concentrated votes of those that want the status quo benefiting from the rots will be for APC. So with a scenario of the states, they will overwhelm the two divided people for change, either in PDP or Labour looking for change. For me, we need to concentrate our efforts in one direction. Pick up a political party where only alternative will be in one party. It's either you are here or you are here. You are good for good of Nigeria, for positive change, for progressive nation, for better society, be in this side. Then you want the status quo, the rust to continue, be on this side. So don't divide the votes of people looking for a better Nigeria. So APC, PDP and Labour, and by extension even NNPP, although NNPP only controlled Kano State, who is the largest state in the north. So we also want them to be part of the merger. Let them bury their individual.
Hello. Welcome to the political spotlight.
Individual ambition.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Madam Esther.
Nameka, welcome.
Yeah, my greetings to Oga Barrister.
Barrister Joe is my name. Yeah, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, my brother, Dalu Gisike, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, Esther. First of all, I see the pain in the heart of your guest. Like other lawyers will be like him. I think this kind of problem we are having in the judiciary today, we're not going to get them.
Thank you.
Because most of them have turned stomach judges and stomach lawyers. Now, all what we have now in Nigeria is only one arm of government. Before it's supposed to be three: executive, judiciary, and the legislator. Now, executive are pocket all of these two people, the judiciary and the legislator. Executive are pocket them in their pockets, and they are comfortable with that. What my take this night is this: I support Ex-Malawian president, that lady. Yeah. I call on women, Nigerian women. I call on Nigerian women. I support it 100%. The Nigerian women have to wake up. If they are killing anybody in Nigeria now, they are children then they kill. If they are feeling any pain, hungry, they are children they feel pain and hungry on the streets. Nigerian women ladies, they have to wake up and stand against these men so-called strong men. And another thing again is this, my dear. You see the opposition, the incumbents are going to get this time around, and not Tito Obi and the Atiko or Kwakwasu. The hungry ones on the street are the opposition. These incumbents are coming to face this time around. Those market women that is complaining about their fees going high, they are the opposition. The suffering ones on the streets of Nigeria at north, south, west, and the east. The suffering ones are the opposition. Let them get ready. Let them get ready to face these people. That's my message this night.
Thank you. You're the final caller for the program, on the program today. You're the final.
National communities will take our complaints to international bodies and international conferences and speak. But then with little money we are getting from the start of our personal sweat, cannot carry all these things.
All right, thank you, Barrister.
We can do. We're ready to do that.
Thank you, Barrister Joe, for all of that. We need to wrap up right now. Thank you for those of you who called in on the program. The political spotlight.
We'll not lose hope.
The political spotlight takes place every Sunday right here on VOP 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Machuku. My guest, Barrister Joe Nwokedi. His social media handle. Your social media handle?
Joe Nwokedi.
Okay, so Joe Nwokedi at all platforms. On YouTube, you can actually follow me, Estic Media on YouTube. That's ESTIQMEDIA. Facebook, Esther Machuku. Instagram, or rather, Twitter is Estic Media on YouTube as well. And Instagram is Esther Nwaz. Of course, follow VOP across all our social media platforms at VOP 90.3 FM. To have yourself an amazing evening. Bye for now.